All right. Happy Tuesday. It feels very Monday for a Tuesday. We're going to work with it. I see some new faces in the room, some people who haven't joined us in a while. So I'm super excited because this is going to be a really hands-on sales meeting in comparison to some of the sales meetings we've done for the past month or two. You'll notice as we kind of head into the summer, we'll be doing a lot less like agent panels and more tactful, hands-on things to really engage with your business. Because as you know, if you've been in this business for more than one summer season, things get real busy, spring, summer. So we're going to protect your time the best way we know how, which is less items on the calendar, but more impactful items. So our sales meetings for the next 2 months or so, you really won't want to miss them if you can carve out an hour of your week to join us. They're things that we should all be doing in our businesses anyway, but it's more fun and sometimes more powerful to do them together. So Pipeline Powerup, who has a CRM outside of Command or Command? One of the two. Okay. I see like 3 hands. So we'll definitely be talking about a CRM today. Just like for the people who do have a CRM in the room and actively use it, what do they do for your business? Any answers are good too. Know who you're going to call every day. So it tells you what to do. I love that. Anything else? Does the thinking for you. I love that. I need something like that in my life. One more, and then we'll kind of dive into the purpose of the meeting today. Any of our friends at Title, Cross Country, Keller Home Loans, you guys have CRMs in your business? What does it do for you guys?
I'd say just automated and does what I'm supposed to do without anything.
Love that. I guess a better question would be like, what would your business look like without a CRM, Sean?
Probably have to, let's say, work harder, but I'd have to probably plan better and time block better, so it allows me to do more of the what I consider the dollar producing as opposed to the less dollar producing.
I love that answer. Sometimes I feel like I put people in the audience like they're paid actors because they say what I want them to. And that was perfect. So the reason we use a pipeline, the reason we use a CRM is because in real estate, what's the one thing that makes you the most money the quickest? Is it organizing data or is it writing offers and going on listing appointments? Yeah. So if we spend the majority of our time on listing appointments or writing offers or on showings, on buyer consultations, we ultimately have less time to organize all the people in our life that we need to do a 36 touch with, right? And so for us today, it's going to be all about how to get you doing more dollar producing activities while being organized, which I think for every entrepreneur is the biggest struggle. So to get started, let's go through some of our belief system, the Y4C2Ts, all of the good things. So any person in the room can shout out one of the things that are up on the screen that have appeared in your business or in your personal life in the past week or so. What did you say? That whole thing? Oh my gosh. Okay, so that up there. So just one of the things that's on the screen, how's that shown up in your business in the last week or so?
I see phone calls.
Love that.
Buyer agents around my listings, not just one but two.
Like dicey.
You know, yeah. Just and you just not the best period.
Yeah, love that.
And you have to really remember who you're working for. Because they're like, it's important to just get reminded every once in a while.
Absolutely. I love that one.
Communication.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so we're not born as mind readers, and so I may think I know somebody knows something, but if I over communicate, it's better than under communicating because then people fill in the blanks if they don't know.
100%. Love that one. I think we could all say teamwork. Who was at Red Day? Yeah, lots of teamwork going on last Thursday. That was an amazing Red Day. Anyone want to share anything from their Red Day experience? Anything good happened this year? He looks like a phenomenal painter. It looks like you paint in your free time.
Doing all the heavy work.
I love that. I love that. Perfect. Okay, so tomorrow night we have career night. As you know, if you've been joining us for a couple months, our career nights look a little different. We really give them like 30 minutes worth of what Keller Williams is all about, what real estate is all about, and then we give them 30 minutes of really what it looks like as a day in the life of a realtor. Because most of the questions people have when they come in are day in the life questions and a lot less like, how do I get into school, right? That takes 2 minutes. So what's really great about these classes is it also can be fantastic for someone that's already licensed, maybe at another company. If you've done a transaction with someone at a different company and you're like, wow, they should be here. This is a really good class for them because it's not just career night. They already have their license, but we're going to teach them how to sell 10 houses the remainder of the year in real estate or quicker. Or if that's something that you want to learn how to do, join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. I will be teaching. One class I'm super excited for. We've been planning this for like 2 months. It's our Working with Investors playbook. It's next Wednesday at 11 a.m. We have Alex and Alexis and Jermaine, and they're coming to teach you not just how to invest in real estate, as in be the investor, but how to work with investor clients. If you've ever gotten started in the investor space, you'll know that it can run you ragged really quick if you don't do it the right way. And so they're literally building a playbook all together to give to you during that class and just answer any questions that you have and just talk about their experience in the investing space. So I'm super pumped for that one. The culture committee is officially back. So I've been told I was not, I didn't have the luxury to be here for culture committee 1.0, but I've been told that culture committee was everyone's favorite thing to do outside of actually learning at the Market Center. So Culture Committee 2.0 is officially back. Our Jess Ivins and Lindsay Podizak from the West Side are getting together and reigniting all things culture for both sides of town. So the very first happy hour is on the books for May. It's on May 29th. It's actually going to be at that restaurant I can't pronounce that everyone knows Scott Phillips is a partner in. So I'm really excited. It's in Little Italy. They have some really cool things on the calendar coming up in the summer months. And I would really love it if you could support them. It's something super important and close to their heart. So I think it will be a fantastic time. All right. Ohio Real. Do whatever you feel compelled to do.
Touch on timelines. I know this will tie into what Sean will be talking about too. Timelines as far as when there's a letter is concerned. Let's say you have a 4-week close, okay? And if you're using, cross country or KW Morgan, then they say, well, we can get, we get the clear to close in 2 weeks. Your first phone call should be to title, okay? Because we work chronologically. And if we say we're ready to go, then great. Then call the seller. Hey, would you like to close? Are you able to close sooner? But you don't want to contact your seller before talking to us because then, a lot of wasted energy. What we heard at another meeting, it's a lot of wasted energy. So that's one thing. The other thing will be regarding cash deals. Cash deals, if they want to close them in 3 days, it's not something that we cannot do. However, it is busy season and we need some, I don't know why I'm calling your part, intentionality about closing. So if they say it's cash, we put the order on, offer it on Tuesday, you should be able to close by Friday. Technically, yeah, we can do that, but why would you do that if it's not necessary, okay? So we just got done with a 3 or 4 day close, which was great for the clients, but it really hurries up the process for us and we don't want to miss anything. So I would always say to your buyer and seller, why is it necessary to close in 3 days?
Well, yeah, we ask for 2 weeks.
We ask for, at least 10 business days.
And if it's not going to be, or if it's going to be shorter than that, then let us know. So if you're list side, it's one that's going to go and it's cash buyers and whatever, let us know. We can start the search earlier so we can get the commitment back sooner, things that could delay us. So buyers and sellers pre-closing forms, if they don't get them to us, there's no way we can even close. So make sure that when you talk to your buyers and sellers, make sure you tell them, look for the email and fill it out immediately so that they can get their work done on the back end. This particular deal had zero on the commitment. So there was nothing that we had to order as far as payoffs, or any other types of liens that might be out there or any hiccups whatsoever. Most deals have something on them, and those payoffs alone could take sometimes a day, depending on if it's a government lien or something, it could take 2-3 weeks sometimes. So to make everybody happy in the transaction, buy yourself a little bit of time so that we can get the work done behind the scenes so that we can give free and clear title in the amount of time you guys need it.
Right, and one more thing that might hold up that a lot of buyers are investors these days. We do not have their operating agreement, or if they do not have an operating agreement, that is something that we need right off the kick. So making sure that they have all the necessary documents that will be able to move forward with a quick transaction.
Trust, POAs, any of those
Yeah.
things.
Love that.
Yep.
Exciting.
All right, cool.
That was a good one.
Riveting.
Yeah. No, that was all good stuff. Love it. Renee, not here this week. Okay, perfect. All right, cross country. How you doing? Good.
So Fed meeting last week, no bumps, no change to the interest rate, the federal funds rate, which was expected. There's gonna be another meeting in June, probably nothing there, maybe in July, we'll see. Inflation report come out this morning, a little better than expected, but interest rates kind of just coming along, not really doing a whole lot, ticking up a little bit. So right now, there's nothing really on the horizon that says interest rates are gonna move quickly one way or the other. So that's a perfect setup for something actually to happen, but right now, looking kind of plain Jane. So tomorrow's fireside, we're gonna be chatting a little bit about timeline. So it's alluded to. So in the last 3 weeks, we've had 3 deals clear to close, 10 days, 10 days, 11 days. We're gonna needle in tomorrow on kind of what that is about. 2 of these buyers were first-time home buyers, so they weren't really experienced or knew what they're doing, but they were scared. That was good for us. So we'll chat a little bit about that.
Sneak peek to that is big part of it is your help in making sure the buyers are prepared, basically just saying, hey, it's kind of abnormal to close in 10 days or 2 weeks, but it's possible with us and your help. So tune in tomorrow at 1.
Perfect. I love that. Thanks, guys. All right. 11% is not here today. Perfect. Okay. All right, David. Surprise.
All right, wanted to talk about, come on, join us. Come on.
Yes. Welcome.
An opportunity for, older home buyers that are looking to downsize or upsize, right size, from their existing home, and they don't necessarily have all of the cash to purchase the next house, or don't want to use all of their cash to purchase the next house, but also don't want a mortgage. So a home equity conversion mortgage, or a reverse mortgage is a great way for those people to buy their next house. Basically, you have to be at a minimum 62 years or older. There's gonna be a lot of baby boomers going through this in the coming years for the next probably 2 decades. So this is a huge opportunity for you to kind of target some of these buyers and sellers. They can buy it with no mortgage payment. All they have is property taxes and homeowners insurance. That's all they're gonna have to pay. And as long as they live or own that house, they have no payments. Once if they die and the house is sold, their estate gets the proceeds. So it's not like the old days where people thought they were gonna lose their house using a reverse mortgage. It's a HUD insured mortgage. So it's not like a subprime type of a loan that there used to be back in the day. So it's a great opportunity for people. For example, if you have, let's say your net proceeds from your sale are 500,000 and you want to purchase the next house for 300,000, you need to put about 60% down. It's going to vary depending on the age. The rest of that money then they can keep to use for living expenses. So most people haven't saved up, unfortunately, enough for retirement. This is a great way to help. We're going to be having a training next week, Thursday, at noon. I'm just going to pass these around. You can sign up if you want. And that's what I got. Thank you. Absolutely.
Love it. Any questions for any of our sponsors? Any title, any kind of mortgage related questions come up that we want to chat about before we kind of dive in? Does anyone see anything weird? Cool. All right. So like we talked about, today's all about our pipeline and reigniting the people who already like, know, and trust you and might not remember that they want to do business with you. So everything that we're going to talk about today is going to be about pipeline, pipeline, pipeline. We typically all hold our pipeline in some sort of CRM, whether that's Command or a CRM system that you pay for, or even like my tried and true CRM, a Google Doc or an Excel spreadsheet. So no matter how you're doing it, we really need to make sure we're actually touching it, engaging with it, doing all of the things. So 75, it's actually 75% of your future deals come from people you already know. Thinking about your last 12 months of business, just really kind of dig deep and think about where that business came from. If it's not something that you're already tracking, where do your deals come from? Where do your referrals come from? Who's asking you to come over and list their house? Who's asking you to help show properties? What are the major things you're doing in your business to attract those people to communicate with you? And really, the more painful question is, how many more deals could we have done if we had an initial conversation with someone that bought a house last year and didn't use you? So I don't know about you, but that is the one thing that made me more mad than anything else in the world, is when a friend or a family member or a neighbor or someone I kind of knew, someone I checked in with 6 months ago, so they should have remembered to call me, and they bought a house without me. So for me, that was the most infuriating thing. This is how you really minimize that. One step of changing that is recognizing what an actual pipeline is, or who actually belongs in our CRM. How many people, if you thought about your Facebook friends list, I'm looking for show of hands here. If you think about your Facebook friends list, how many do you have someone in your Facebook friends list that you would not talk to today, that you would not pick up the phone and call? Okay, if that person's in your pipeline or in your CRM, they need to get out of the CRM. Because if we're not willing to communicate with them on any given day, at the drop of a pin, if we don't feel comfortable calling them or texting them, get them out of the pipeline. Because what it really does is gives us this false sense of who might be doing business with us. But if you're not willing to call them or text them, they're not going to do business with you. Or at least erase them temporarily until we can get a true group of people in our pipeline that we're willing to communicate with, right? And then one thing that I always really liked to do, does anyone else have like a really hard time being honest with themselves? Or is it just me? Because I'd like to say I could go into my pipeline and be like, yeah, they'll call me, but would they? And so if you've ever categorized your pipeline from like a hot lead, as in they're going to buy within the next 30 to 60 days, and they 100% are using me because they've signed a buyer agency agreement, we've had a buyer's consultation, or they've signed a listing agreement and I've been in their home, we have scheduled things coming up, photos scheduled, all of the things. So that's a hot lead. That's someone that's committed to using you. A warm lead is like, oh, well, we don't have anything signed yet, but they're definitely going to use me. Or like, we have a buyer agency agreement signed, but like, I haven't talked to them 2 weeks and we haven't seen any properties. And then a cold lead, someone that might be buying in 6 to 12 months or even longer, but they consistently hear from you. So categorizing your leads into hot, warm, cold, and then being able to prioritize how you communicate with those people, super, super important. Who knows how to use Command in the room? We all have Command, right? Okay. So we're not going to actually learn about Command today, although it is a really good tool. There should be a QR code at the end of the presentation or right here. Perfect. So if you don't know how to use Command at its highest level, scan the QR code and take 5 to 10 minutes later this afternoon as you continue to organize your pipeline, really to kind of like get super organized. So the next kind of activity we're going to do is our true pipeline power up. Oops. Caitlin. It looks like I'll have Carrie put a couple more because we have way more people than we usually do this day. I'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 more. You got extras? How many we got? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take a true 10 minutes. I'm gonna set a timer on my phone. And the first thing I'd recommend you doing. Yeah. The first thing that I want you to do if you have never done the brain dump activity already is I want you to do the long list of people. So this is an old tried and true bold activity where you literally just think of every single person that you might need to communicate with and put them on this piece of paper. The goal for today, in our short 10 minutes is that I need you to come up with 25 people's names. That's not already in your database, okay? The second activity is when we get really dialed in on like, that person actually might need to hear from me today. I want you to go deep on the Powerup actual worksheet where we talk about their category, whether they're a buyer or a seller, their status, and then the follow-up steps. And I want like specific follow-up steps, not like it's time to communicate with them or it's time to give them a call. I'm going to send them a Keller Home Loans program for first-time home buyers today because I know they're a first-time home buyer. It might be, I know that they're selling their parents' home soon, so I'm going to have them call Janelle, talk about what that looks like as a power of attorney, et cetera, et cetera. I want specifics. So 10 minutes, fill out this one first, as many people as you can think of. And if for whatever reason, I remember when I got in the business, I didn't know any of these people's names. I don't know my dentist. Love that guy, but I have no idea who that is. Go on the very back blank sheet. And one really good exercise is if money were no object, write down every name that you would invite to a wedding today. And that could be your pipeline. So here, 10 minutes, go.
What if we don't know? Just kidding.
Well, you have a very small pipeline.
What?
Everybody else.
Super important in this exercise too, like do not overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just dump some names. It's like a true brain dump exercise. It's like, this is really embarrassing. So if you know from like 2 minutes ago, I haven't gone to the doctor or the eye doctor in like 13 years. Dentist is more often, that kind of grosses me out, but I kind of just show up. When can you take me? I don't know. I don't have a cell phone number. I have
Book that appointment 6 months in advance.
Yeah, I do.
Work your life around it.
Yeah, and then they just call me and I'm like, I haven't gotten nothing to do out in the lot. So is that how you, like, is that how your database feels about you? We're just about 2 minutes in, so keep going. Some of these are cracking me up too, because when it says who lives across the street, that's like a huge aha for me, because I'm like, I have no idea. But I can figure out who I buy glasses from, David, thank you, since I went to my doctor last week.
I like saving things what they are. So.
That's correct. Who do you go to the theater with? That's a good one. Got to scratch your brain there. Number 94. We're just about halfway through. Shout out some numbers. Where are we in the list? Number what? 61? 105? Okay, perfect. There's 150, so for the next 5 minutes getting beat. It's about 3 minutes. If you have run into a snag of like, I cannot come up with any more names, go to that blank sheet on the back. And if you're like, I don't know if I'd invite any of these people to my wedding, go through your Facebook friends list or your Instagram followers list and think to yourself, oh my gosh, I see them all the time regularly, but I don't talk to them. I don't communicate with them. Write their name down. Another good exercise is like maybe go to a friend of yours, go to their Facebook page and look at their mutual friends and think about, oh my gosh, they should be in my pipeline. They should be in my database. All right. 10 minutes goes by really quick when you're trying to think of everybody in your pipeline. While we're kind of finishing up with this first packet, number 134. Did anybody get to 134 and think to yourself, like, why is this asking this? It's who did you meet on a plane? It's funny, right? It's kind of silly. So who took gold in this room? Okay, so you all know the story I'm about to tell then. So our bowl coach was in the room and he is like a pretty funny guy. I actually really enjoyed him. Silly sense of humor. But one thing that he said is like he talks to everybody he meets. Like every single person he meets, he talks to them. He's like, where are you from? What do you do? What do you like to do? What are you good at? One of the questions he asked me when he first started interviewing, our brokerage was like, what's your superpower? And no one's ever asked me that question before, and it makes you think. So he was sitting on a plane and he was talking to the lady next to him. It wasn't a long conversation or anything, but she ended up giving him her business card. They exchanged information. She's a realtor in a different state. All of a sudden, he was getting postcards sent to his house every other week for like 8 straight weeks. And then he was on her drip campaign. And then guess what happened? He had to sell a house in the state that she lived in, and she called him. He called her, I should say. And they have done 12 referral deals together. And that was 6 years ago. So it sounds silly until it works. And so that's kind of the point of the story. It's like it all of this feels sometimes like nobody that I'm gonna meet on a plane is ever gonna use me, until they do. And so going through the list, it's really, really a powerful exercise to think about. If you had a conversation about real estate with all 150 people on the list, where would your business be today? Or how would it look different than what it looks like right now? And obviously, for me, I mean, I don't know anybody that's a golfer or tennis pro, but if I did and I had a conversation with them about real estate, what would that do for me? So, how many people got through the entire list of 150 people?
I didn't fill them all out. I mean, I don't have names by all of them.
Yeah. So,
But
any kind of aha around that?
I should probably have a baby, a husband, and my parents should come back to life.
Well, that was not what I expected.
I, a lot of these categories, I was surprised at how many people I do business with. From like the gym and the HOA, and so that tells me that that type of non-official networking works really well for me, and I need to ramp up that game.
Yeah, I love that. Let's hear one more aha before we go to our power up sheet. One more aha on the pipeline. Yeah.
Some of the people I wrote down, I haven't talked to in quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also good to do this every little bit, because those names change. Like, if you're like, okay, yeah, him, but then you're like, wait a minute, what about that person? It just kind of
Yeah.
cracks it back open again.
Yeah. One more. Those kind of got me jazzed up. One more. Yeah. One more. Any ahas? What were we thinking? Let's not even call it an aha. What were we thinking when we were writing this down? Or were there just no thoughts, just vibes? Okay, well, no thoughts, just vibes is awesome. So, taking your list that you just made, we're going to go to this sheet right here. And, they're not numbered, so how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, there's 10 spots to fill. I want you to go through this list that you just made. And I want you to pick your top 10 people that you think that you should be in communication with within the next 30 days. And like I mentioned in the beginning, really actually fill this out. So if the lead name is Kate Johnson, like really actually do some investigating. Are they a buyer or are they a seller? Their status, obviously you might not know that until you have that first conversation with them, but you can just guess for the purposes of this power up. And then the follow-up next step, right? So just like we make SMART goals, so specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Follow-up steps should be SMART too. Specific, how are you gonna follow up with them? Call or a text, email. When are you gonna do it? Friday at noon. What are you gonna say? So your top 10. And if for whatever reason, doing this exercise, you thought about someone that maybe didn't fit any of in these categories, but you're like, oh my gosh, I really need to talk to them, put them in your top 10. And I'm going to set the timer for this one for 5 minutes.
You should probably be about ready to sell that house.
You sure? Well, I asked, I said, so how are you feeling? Are you gonna, he's like, I'm feeling good, I'll be back. And I just think so here.
The young team, I think it was, who's now with the agency, he listed the house. I don't know who represented John, because they did a really fine house. They were all the pictures and everything. Because they had it staged and they brought in, because it's like a real traditional home, and they staged it very contemporary because the confessional did it, it worked. I don't think that John bought it, because it was like a 90-year-old lawyer's house, but the furniture, I mean, it really speaks to what staging can do. Because, yeah, it was like an old tiny lawyer's house. The first time it was on the market, it did not look like that the second time. Yeah.
Let's put it down there. He was trying to work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, given his greatness.
We have about 2 minutes. This is the most quiet a sales meeting's ever been. How are we feeling? Was this one more difficult than this one? The same? What do we think? This is the part you have to say something, or I'm just gonna stare at you. So, how did we feel?
I'd already walked in those kind of places.
Love it.
That's
I
how
love
I
that.
start structuring my day.
Perfect. I love that. So we're walking in with to-do
Here's a
list,
dry erase.
and now we're organized. Perfect. What else?
Difficult because I do have some neighbors that are toying selling.
Yeah.
One selling and buying, and it's touchy. Some of them I talk to a lot, others I don't, without like getting too pushy or like, when you leave in this neighborhood, like getting that, feelings across. So
Absolutely.
I'm not sure exactly how to approach it.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect quick little mastermind. Let's 2 minutes. Allison, you've probably been in this situation a million times before. So you have a seller who's toying with the idea of selling. You don't want to seem salesy or pushy. How do you communicate or how do you follow up with that person?
That is, yeah, it is tough to be the nagging fishwife. just checking in with you, see if there's anything I can do to help. I have somebody that specializes in coming over and helping my clients pack. You know, just somebody to sit with you while you go through, maybe not make decisions, but just to sit with you. And if it's somebody a little bit older, this person can also pick up the heavy boxes and store them in your closet. I also would absolutely never put them on a drip. I would put myself on a drip, and any house that looks like theirs that comes on the market, hey, look, this looks just like your house. And then I text them, did you get my email about the house? Because I don't know how to text houses. Like I'm sure there's a way to do it. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. And then
We'll talk in a minute.
and then maybe like a few days later, I just met like this window washer guy that my girlfriend in Akron used, and he was amazing. What do you think about sparkly windows?
Does anyone follow up, in a non-real estate related way? Anyone in here?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, if I knew what was going on, it might have been the precipitator to it. That's the conversation you're having. Hey, how is it going? You know, has your kid found their college of choice yet? It's graduation, and it's back to the fore. It's back to friends, you know, and around that stuff. So you're not really being salesy. You're checking in with them, and you're going to get some answers.
Love that.
You
For the
know.
new agents in the room, explain to you what Ford means.
So when it's talking points so that you're not like falling back on talking about yourself or, hey, I'm a realtor. Did you know that? It's around family and friends. It's around your occupation. It's around retirement, recreation. It's around your dreams. So if they're like, oh, I'm going to have to sell this someday. What do you want to do when you're retired? It's not about sales. It's about retirement. And then they're like, you know what? I want to buy an RV and travel. So now I'm like, oh my God, did you see on Facebook Marketplace? Let's buy this RV.
I love
And
that.
then, so it's coming from a conversation space, but they remember that you're the person that's talking, but not selling. So having that conversation, and it's really easy because people like to talk about that stuff.
Mhm.
And I just switch it up depending on the age and who I'm talking to. Maybe we don't always start with family and friends. Maybe we start with work because I know that they just got a new job. And how is it going? Are they comfortable? Did you want to move closer? How's that commute going?
Has anyone been in the room when I've done the toothpaste exercise? I don't think so. So we'll do this really quick, and it'll be a big. It stuck with me for forever when someone did this with me, and it made sense why I was supposed to talk to these people. So on the count of 3, I just want you to shout out a brand of toothpaste. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so most of the time, and I think that this is true in this room, I hear Colgate and Crest. Those are usually the only 2 brands that I ever hear. And then literally like within 10 seconds, someone's like, I don't even use Crest. I don't even know why I said that. Like, it's like, I don't even have Crest. But it's Crest and Colgate. And the reason they do that is because scientifically we have space in our brain for 2 things when it comes to a topic, whether it's pasta sauce, whether it's toothpaste, whether it is a realtor. And so how do you make sure that you're one of the 2 realtors someone thinks of when they're like, okay, I'm ready to list my house? Is it because every single day you're like, are you ready to sell your house? Or is it because Kelly sent me that really cool RV on Facebook and she cares about me? And she is kind of my friend. I'm going to use her. So how are you consistently talking to these people so that when they're like, all right, ready to pull the trigger, it's you that they call? So these people know you're a realtor, I promise. Unless you've never told them, right? So they know you're a realtor. How do you make sure you just stay in their head? How often are you talking to them? We have been told there's something called a 36 touch. You're supposed to touch someone 36 times a year, not physically touch them, but you're supposed to connect with them 36 times a year. Maybe it's 10 phone calls, maybe it's 10 texts, maybe it's 5 handwritten notes that go to their door. Maybe it's 5 emails that they receive, and maybe it's 30, and then maybe it's 6 events that you hold throughout the year. And the events, that's a different class. But like, how are you talking to someone 36 different times where it's not just like, I'm a realtor? How are you communicating with them? So the next part of the class is probably arguably the thing people like to do the least, but it's the take action step. So in the next 5 to 10 minutes, as we're wrapping up, I want you to pick your top 5 people that you think in your pipeline are your hottest leads that I really need to talk to them this week, or I really need to talk to them today. What have we just kind of discovered through these 2 pieces of paper? We haven't talked to these people in forever. That person already changed. I now get my tires from someone else. Do they know I'm a realtor? Everything we just talked about. I talked to them, but like, are they also talking to, Jermaine? Are they also talking to Allison? Like, what does that look like? So your top 5 hottest leads that you want to communicate with, I want you to text them or call them if you're feeling bold. You can walk outside if you want. And here's just 2 quick examples. If you know that they're buying and selling, they're in your pipeline and they're active buyers or they're active sellers, whatever. A buyer example text. Hey, Kelly, just checking in. Are you still thinking about making a move this year? I've seen a few great homes pop up that might match what you're looking for. You want me to send them to you? A seller example. Hey, Elliot, I've been helping a few buyers look for homes in ABC neighborhood. Just curious, have you thought any more about selling this year? Or do you know anyone in your area who might be? These are pretty direct. So again, if you're newer or you're like, my pipeline is just dry and no one is looking to buy or sell right now, the text might just be, hey, Kate, I was just thinking about you. Remember that time we went to 123 Coffee? I just passed it. Hope you're doing well. Or it could be, hey, Lisa, I have a new neighbor that just moved in and I was literally just thinking to myself, I really wish it was you. LOL. Who do you know that might be buying or selling so I can get great neighbors? Or, hey, Joe, I saw that your neighbor's house is up for sale. Who do you want to live next to? I want to show that house.